Hi everyone, I'm Major. In this video, we will watch the Super Disk of ArchiWood. The Super Disk is a very useful tool and a very powerful tool. In this video, I will talk about 10 knowledge points of the Super Disk. First, let's see how to load the Super Disk. Okay, we can open SkyChap. Open the ArchiWood client-side panel. Below the cabinet module, we can see the Start design. And below it, we can see the icon of Super Disk. Click this icon to load the Super Disk. Meanwhile, we can see the disk appears. We can press the spacebar to end the operation. On the pop-up toolbar, there will be two icons. This is to activate the Super Disk. This icon is to set the Super Disk. After clicking it, we can hear to make more settings for the disk. Okay, press the spacebar to end the operation. Of course, after activating the Super Disk, below the extension menu, we can see there is a menu option for the Super Disk. Well, with the Super Disk, we can learn its basic usage methods. It's very simple to use. Okay, we can click on the Super Disk, the first icon on the toolbar, to activate the disk. After activation, it will default to the center. We put the mouse cursor in any area. Click the disk. It will follow a certain area, which is convenient for us to use. Okay, we can see that there are many icons. We can see there are pick inner space, pick up surface, and so on. We can click to pick the inner space, and a new disk will pop up. Then this disk, it may be on the left by default. We can switch its position by double-clicking. If we want to put it in the middle, we double-click in the middle, double-click it, and the next time we use it, it will record its position. Okay, we can see that there are many icons on it. So, these icons here, we can see that they are the same as the icons in the lower right corner of SketchUp, are the same. For example, the cabinet frame, the frame of 201, and this frame are the same. For example, the hanger rod and the one here are the same. So we can say that when using this disk, we can find familiar shadows and then click to use it. For example, we click on the frame, the pop-up panel. We can click on Automatic Layout or Place. Okay, click, and when the cursor is placed on it, it will turn blue. After clicking and seeing the green grips appear, we can click on Other Module Components. We can see the generated plate. Then, when the cursor turns blue here, click the mouse cursor on the green grip. Click and move the mouse after it turns red. Move it here. Click to select the entire inner space. Then, we can click on the door. Then we can see that this door is actually this door. It's a pair of doors. Okay, after we click, a panel pops up. This is to enter the door's cover value. We can enter the upper, lower, left, and right covers. After setting it, click Apply. In this way, an easy cabinet is drawn. After drawing, we can press the spacebar to end the operation. At this time, you can see that when we use the disk, we will find two sets of icons. In fact, we can use this Super Disk. That's it. How to close this icon? It's very simple. We just need to go to the bottom of the extension menu and turn it off. Under the Extension Program menu, find the Super Disk where ArchiWood, and uncheck the old icon. After checking this box, then we need to close SketchUp. Restart SketchUp. Okay, let's restart SketchUp. After restarting, then we click on the Super Disk again. We click on Pick Class Empty. You can see the old set of icons in the lower right corner. It will not appear. We can hear to use the functions we need. Through this disk, we can better achieve our operation effect. Okay, next, let's see how to add a new disk. Because in the process of using it just now, we can see that there is only one disk, right? So, how to add our own disk? It's very simple. We just click on the settings icon. And then we can see below, there will be some dots. These dots, it's these disks that come with the ArchiWood system. Then, at the back, we can see a plus sign. and a minus sign in front. The minus sign represents deleting the disk. The plus sign represents adding a disk. Okay, let's click the plus sign, and the settings panel pops up. We can set the name of the disk here. For example, we set it to 01, click OK. Well, in this case, it will automatically be arranged on the right. We can see the disk 1 here appears. We can click the plus sign again. Then we can enter 02 here. OK, after entering, click OK, OK, and then we can hear, because it will automatically be arranged on the right. So we can click on the right side. You can see that there is 02 here. So we can use this method to add our own disk. This is a disk I added myself. If we add too many disks, or we want to make modifications and don't need it, what should we do? We can delete it. We click the minus sign to delete the disk of 02. If we need to delete the disk 1, we continue to click the minus sign. But we need to pay attention to this minus sign. There will be no prompt when deleting. So it's best to click once at a time. Then it will be deleted. Don't click it repeatedly. If you click it repeatedly, it will build ArchiWood. That is, all the disks that come with it, all be deleted. This will cause some unnecessary trouble. So the addition and deletion of these disks is very simple. After we add the disk, how do we add the icons on it? It's very simple. We just need to put the mouse cursor on this blank disk, on this white disk, and it will turn yellow. Then we click it, and a corresponding panel will pop up. And then we can add the icon. Okay, let's go back to SketchUp and do a demonstration with you. Then we put the mouse cursor on this blank disk. For example, if we put it here, it will turn yellow. Click it, and a setting panel for the disk will pop up. Here, we can see a slider on the right. We can slide the slider to the bottom. There will be many icons. Find the icon we need. Click on any icon, and it will be added. Okay, let's click here. And you can add it. That is to say, wherever we click. And then click on this icon. This icon can be placed. This method of adding, we call it manual addition. Of course, if every icon, we need to click here, and then click here first. In this case, it seems a bit troublesome. Is there a faster way? We can use automatic addition. Okay, let's add a blank page first. And name it 01. Okay. After adding this blank disk page, we click here with the mouse cursor. So we can start from the top here as the first icon. Okay, then we can put the mouse cursor on the icon of the panel on the right. Click it. We can see that it is automatically added. At the same time, the disk will automatically switch to the next one. Okay, we can click, 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 right? We can see that it will be automatically added. At the same time, the disk will automatically switch to the next one. Of course, we can change the icon and click, right? Okay. For the next disk, we can perform the corresponding operation. Click the mouse cursor here first to determine its starting position. Then we can click, 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 right, right. It will add in a clockwise direction. To add, we can see that it is added like this. The next one is the same. We just click, right? Like this. We can quickly add our icons. This method is much more efficient. We can call it as an automatic addition method. Well, of course, here, I'm just doing a demonstration. So these icons are added or added randomly. I don't need these icons. How can I delete them? It's very simple. Place the mouse cursor on the corresponding disk icon. Right-click on the context menu that pops up, and you can see the delete icon. We can right-click to delete it. Delete. If there are too many icons, we need to right-click each one manually. It seems to be a bit slow. Is there a faster way? Actually, there is a trick. Is to put the cursor on the icon. Double-click, double-click, double-click. Quickly press the left mouse button twice. You can quickly delete these icons. Of course, if there are indeed too many, we need to modify them. We can directly delete the unwanted, the entire disk page, and delete the entire disk directly. After deleting, we can add a new disk and make a new one. Okay, this is what we talked about adding and deleting disk icons. Of course, what about the disk function of ArchiWood? Is very powerful. It can create subdisks of the disk or subpages of the disk. We can call it nested, or the meaning of plate in plate. That is, there is a disk inside the disk. This is when we add icons. We can see a page here, or subpages. Then, through here, to create a subdisk. Okay, let's go back to SketchUp, and I'll show you a demo. We can see here, we have added a subpage. We can see here, we can see the corresponding page's icon for this page, which I've already added. Let's see the effect. We click it, we can see that there'll be a disk. If we want to return, we can click this arrow to return. Right, we click it, we can enter the subpage of the disk, or the disk type of disk. Of course, this return button also has a shortcut key, which is the shortcut key for the approximately symbol. Where is this icon? Where is this command? It's on the number 1 on the keyboard, on the left of the number 1 key, which is the approximately equals sign key, or the symbol for dot. As long as we press this key, it can return to the previous level. Okay, let's try it. Okay, here we are. Press the equal sign key. After pressing it, we can see that it will return to the previous level. Okay, how did we add and create this? Let's find an empty icon. After clicking it, after it turns yellow, this panel, it will automatically pop up. After it pops up, we can name it here. Find the icon of subpage. Of course, we can change it, such as changing it to blue. We can name it. We can here name it test. Then click OK, and it will be added. Okay, let's click it. You can see to enter the subpage of test or subdisk. Then we can click on this disk. After clicking here, we can add the icons we need. After adding it, we can click the return arrow. Click it. Click it, right? This is how to add this subdisk. To add this purple disk. To achieve more personalized operations and incorporate many functions. Of course, when we use the super disk, we can see many icons when we use it for the first time. After using it for a while and becoming proficient, you will find that this icon seem not enough, because there are many modules and components that have no icons. What should we do then? We need to customize. We need to add our own icons. This method is also very simple. First of all, we follow this path to find the settings folder, which is this path. In this settings folder, we need to create a new folder for icons. Then, in this icon folder, we need to create these 5 folders manually. So these are the 5 folders we see now. These 5 folders. Then, in the corresponding folder, we place our corresponding images. The image size is 128 by 128, and the name of the image. We use code and underline. And then, the module code. For example, the framework of the kicker is 201. So, we write it as code/201. And write it as such a name. Then, we put this picture into the pickup folder. We can add our corresponding images. For example, I want to add a picture of a light strip. This is my own picture. If I want to add it, I will first make this picture, and then name it. Named cod/601. Because the front light strip of the light strip is 601. So, I need to name this picture correctly. Then, I will copy or duplicate it too, into the empty folder of the picker. When we make this picture, we can see that this picture can be added. Okay, then we will do a demonstration with you. First, we open our computer. Find the C drive, and double-click to open it. Then find our user folder. Double-click to open. Then find our username folder. Double-click to open. We can see a folder starting with F. Double-click to open. And here, there's a settings folder starting with S. We double-click to open it. After opening, we need to create a new folder here. Okay, we click New Folder. Then here, we name the folder. Let's name it like this. Okay, then double-click to open it. After opening, we will create these folders. To create these folders, these 5 folders, which are the folders we just saw. Okay, here we click New Folder. Then, we create the first folder. The case of the name. Follow the instructions above. Then, let's name these folders. The first one is box, which means a box icon. The second one is for picking surfaces. The third one can be named page. This folder is for making subpages. Okay, let's name another one. Let's name it panel. Then this folder is a folder for quick design, or a quick version folder. Let's create a new one. Let's name it SPAC. First, this folder is a folder for picking up empty space. We need to add our own light strip. This light strip is a medium tide module component, which is the background parametric model, which is the model of this module component. So, we can put it in the empty folder. We double-click to open this folder, and then we can find the picture we have made. Here, we can see that I have already made this picture. Okay, at this time, we can copy this image too. Copy it with Ctrl plus C, and then copy it to Ctrl plus V, and copy it here, which is below this folder. Okay, let's take a look. Then this image will be there. After having it, we can go back to SketchUp. Click the blank icon. And here, we can take a look. This panel, a user classification will appear. Here, we can see the image we just used. Of course, if it doesn't show up, we can close it, and then click again to refresh it. Or we can restart SketchUp. It usually shows up, right? Okay, after we have this, we can use Photoshop to create more images. For this image, we should pay attention to its format. The front part is code followed by an underscore. And the latter is the module code, which is a number. What about when we use ArchiWood? You can see many module codes. Of course, if you are a novice and use it for the first time, you may not understand the module code very well. What about after we use ArchiWood? We will know that these module codes are very convenient. We can think of it as a shortcut key. For example, our just 601 means you want to draw a light strip. We don't need to draw it manually. We just type 601 and press enter. We can use this shortcut key to quickly draw a light strip. We can see that there are many module codes. It's very, very large. So with more module codes, it may not be friendly to beginners. It's hard to remember, right? Now that we have this method, we can put these module codes all in this icon. We can use the icon to generate it without relying purely on memory, right? Okay, in this way, the icon is done. So, we can turn more of this module code into images. Then, copy the finished image, copy it with Ctrl plus C, and paste it under the folder. After pasting it, we can go back to SketchUp and find an empty icon. Click, and then here, we can find the images we just made. Click here. Click here. Click, right? Okay, in this way, we're done. Of course, this means the icon of picking up the inner space. So we can't actually sit here. Where should we sit? Let's double-click to delete it first. We should be picking up the inner space. This ID Paperman may have some interference. We delete it. We should be able to do this. The icon of picking up the inner space. For example, we click here, okay? Find the light strip we just made. Click it, and then this one. Click it, right? And then, we click here. Click here. Click it, and then, we can put the icon of the light strip. Okay, here we can we can turn it off. Let's take a look. We can open the disk. After opening it, we pick the inner space, and then we can draw a frame. After adjusting, then we can pick up the inner space. After picking up the inner space, we can see that the icon of the light strip we just made has not appeared. What is the reason for this? We need to restart SketchUp. Okay, let's reopen SketchUp. After reopening it, we can activate the disk, and then pick the empty space. We can see that it appears, right? We adjust a frame, and then place the missing light. Well, here, we can generate the corresponding light strip. Generated, right? If we want the down light strip, we just place it, right? If you need the upward light strip, look at the corresponding light strips. They will be automatically generated, which is very convenient. We no longer need to rely purely on memory to remember these codes like 601, 602, 603, 604, etc. Right. This is very friendly to beginners. It's very friendly. We can put these large number of module components and these shortcuts and make them into icons and then use them, right? This is very convenient, which is also very beneficial for beginners to use and learn. Then of course we know that the function of ArchiWood is very powerful. When we generate these module components, we just generated them. We didn't set any parameters for them. If we want to set its parameters, we need to make some settings. We need to double-click to enter. Select the corresponding module component. Then right-click the context menu that pops up. We can click Edit Parameters, and then make a modification to its parameters. The front distance of a light, which is 100 now. I can change it to 200. In this case, here, it will become 200. Okay, we can select it. We can modify it to 300. In this way, the front distance of the lamp, it will become 300. Okay, here we can see that this light, there is also a lamp width. And the depth of the light. Right, let's take a look. It's 10 past 5 now. This is 12. Here, we can measure it. Okay. Right. Why does it show approximately 11? This is the problem with our settings here. It's a problem with the settings. We can set the accuracy here. Let's set it. Okay, if we set it like this, it will be displayed as 10.05, which is the 10.05 we see now. Okay. If we change this parameter like this, is also okay. But it will be slightly troublesome. Now, can you build a nest by ArchiWood? To set the corresponding parameters. So when we use the disk, we can directly set the parameters. This will greatly improve our efficiency, okay? Okay, so how do we make this? Well, this one is very simple. First, we are here. Before we start making it, we first select this. Select this light. You can see a saw cut for the lamp slot here. Then, here is the width of the lamp. And the depth of the light, right? Well, this lamp groove front distance, it has a corresponding number, or a corresponding variable. How do we know? We can put the mouse cursor here and double-click. After double-clicking, you can see a DCQJ here, which represents the front saw of the lamp slot, and a variable. Okay, for the depth of this light, we double-click here. You can see a DCS, which represents the depth of the lamp slot. For the width of the light trough, we can double-click here to see DCK, which represents the depth of the lamp trough. That's what it means. So for each of these parameters, there is a variable. How can we see it? Just double-click here to see it. Right. Okay. After we clear this, we click on this icon, the setting disk. Then we find the pick class empty, and find the corresponding module component, such as the front lamp slot. After clicking it, then the settings panel pops up. We can set the corresponding parameters here. We click it. The settings panel pops up. We can enter a name for it here. Here. Let's set the front distance of the lamp slot first. We can enter the front distance of the lamp slot here. After entering it, then this place is to enter a variable for it. This is DCQJ. So we can enter DCQJ here. Below here, we can set the input box, or a drop-down list. Right. For example, we choose input box, and then we can select the type of value here. For example, we choose floating point numbers. After selecting it, we can set the value of the lamp slot. Then this value is the default value. For example, it defaults to 200. Of course, you can also set it to 300, or 100, or 100. We can set it according to our needs, okay? After setting it, we can add. Of course, we can also edit it. Of course, after editing it, we can save it, right? Then, we can click the save button in the lower right corner. We can see the effect like this. Okay. Click OK. Of course, we can add more parameters, such as the depth of the lamp slot. We double-click it. Here, we can enter the name of the current lamp. We write the depth of the lamp here, and then write its variable here. Then we write the depth of the lamp slot. Here, we can set its type, such as floating point numbers. So the depth of the light trough, what is its default value? For example, it's 10 by default. We default to 10, right? Okay, then click Add. We can also add the width of the lamp slot. Then, here, Continue. Then write down the name of the lamp. We write down the width name. And here is its variable. DCK is the width of the light trough. And here, we select its type, such as the width of the light trough, which is a floating point, is 10, and the default value is 10. We add it here, and it's added. We also need to save it. Look at this, the effect, right? Let's apply it. This is done. After that, and then press the spacebar to end the operation. Restart SketchUp. Okay, let's restart SketchUp. Restart SketchUp. After opening SketchUp, and then we can check it again, the result of our previous settings. We bring up a frame, and pick the empty class, and click the front light slot icon. We can see that it appears, right? We can apply it. After applying it, we can take a look. And then we can see here that this is 200. And then this is 10. And this is also 10, right? Okay. This is the result of our settings. Of course, here, if we need its corresponding operation, we pick the inner space. If we need other light troughs, we need to be accurate in real-time picking. After we click it, set it here. For example, its depth is 300, and then its depth, such as 15. Width is 20. After setting it, click Apply. We can measure it here. So, this place, it's 300, right? This is 300. Then the width is 20. And the depth is 15. Okay, in this way, we can successfully complete the production of the corresponding parameters. Is it good? We can do it in this way. Each module code, these module components, can be used to set the corresponding parameters according to everyone's needs, can be simple or complex ones. After this is done, it's like we can build a nest with ArchiWood. The global parameters in the global parameters, and then replace the latter parameters. To replace them, we don't need to rely purely on memory. To enter through the lower right corner, right? We can use this icon, and then generate the settings panel to solve it. This is what we call some ways to set up a ArchiWood. You may make a lot of settings. After setting it, others don't need to do the same settings. We can share our settings. Share it with others. Others can use our settings. We just need to save our settings. And then open the global parameters. Then, we need to save our global parameters first, and save it. After saving, and remember to click OK. Then we can synchronize cloud operation. Then we can upload it. In this way, it can be uploaded to our cloud for saving. If other people want to use our settings, our other users, just click on this icon, and then download it, and download our current configuration. Okay, finally, let's talk about the initialization settings. When we use the disk, try to avoid the initialization settings. especially for new users. Especially for new users, when using SuperDisk, we can use its default disk, or on the basis of the default disk, and make a modification and editing settings. If we use the initialization settings, then all the disks, it will become an initialization. It will become a blank. So, it is not recommended for our new users to operate like this. In SketchUp, we can take a look. Click Settings. After Setting, right-click in the blank area. Click the right mouse button on the blank area. We can see an initialization setting here. For this setting, for new users, we don't need to set it. After setting, it will all become blank. After it becomes blank, we need to set each icon. To set it again, is it okay? Let me emphasize this. Okay. Okay, good. It's about building ArchiWood, the SuperDisk. Thank you, all.